Graves, ACT lawyer in Hackensack, N.J.A. in New Jersey. Simply having a firearm can lead to mandatory prison time. The state's gun laws are among the strictest in the country, and under the Graves Act a conviction or even a plea to a firearms charge means years behind bars with no chance of early parole. This harsh reality applies even when it is a first offense or an honest mistake. For people in Hackensack and across the state who suddenly face this prospect, knowing your rights and acting quickly can make all the difference. Originally, mandatory prison sentences were limited to situations where a gun was used in certain crimes. The law has since been broadened, and mandatory sentencing now applies to convictions for unlawfully possessing rifles, machine guns, shotguns or handguns, possessing or defacing a firearm, having a sawed-off shotgun, carrying a firearm while committing a drug offense, possessing certain weapons if previously convicted of specified firearms offenses, or manufacturing, transporting or disposing of a gun. These changes mean that even nonviolent possession cases can result in lengthy sentences. The Graves Act is a complicated sentencing scheme, and pursuing a waiver requires a sophisticated understanding of the law. A waiver can only be obtained if the prosecution agrees that the circumstances do not justify the mandatory minimum. Without a professional advocate who understands these nuances, defendants often serve the full mandatory term followed by a lengthy probation period. The core of the Graves Act is its mandatory minimum prison terms. For second- and third-degree crimes, parole is barred until at least 42 months of a sentence have been served. Unlawful possession cases usually carry a 5-year term with no chance of parole until after that period. Even fourth-degree convictions require a minimum of 18 months behind bars without parole. These penalties apply even to first-time offenders and cannot be reduced through good behavior or early release programs. Obtaining a waiver is the only way to reduce or avoid the non-parole period. Through a complex application process, defendants may qualify to serve as little as 1 year or, if the charges are reduced or dismissed, avoid prison altogether. Whether prosecutors will agree to a waiver often depends on the specific facts of the case. For example, if the police recovered the firearm in violation of New Jersey or federal law, the evidence might be suppressed and the charges dismissed. The story of Shaneen Allen shows how unforgiving these rules can be. In 2015, she was stopped for a minor traffic violation while crossing a state border with her licensed handgun, and she told the officer about the weapon and produced her valid permit. Her lack of criminal history, her ignorance of New Jersey law and her good faith did not matter. She was facing a 3-year prison sentence. As a single parent working full-time in the medical field, this punishment would have destroyed her family. Her eventual pardon by Governor Chris Christie illustrates that even the state recognized the irrationality of such a result. These examples underscore why the law is so severe. Under the Graves Act, every degree of crime carries mandatory minimums that cannot be shortened through good conduct. The law requires at least 3.5 years in prison for second- and third-degree offenses and 18 months for fourth-degree convictions. These penalties reflect New Jersey's tough stance on gun crimes, but they also mean that people who made honest mistakes or posed no threat receive the same treatment as violent offenders. Working with a skilled attorney is essential to evaluate your options and decide whether to seek a waiver. The law firm representing you must understand both the sentencing guidelines and the priorities of the prosecutors. When you are convicted of unlawful possession, the default penalty is 5 years with eligibility for parole only after 42 months. Yet there is hope. An experienced law professional can petition for a waiver to reduce the non-parole period to about 1 year or, if prosecutors agree to lower the charges, eliminate prison time entirely. Successfully pursuing a waiver requires a detailed understanding of sentencing guidelines and of how prosecutors evaluate these requests. An accomplished lawyer will also review how the police obtained the firearm, because an illegal search can lead to suppression of the evidence and dismissal of the charges. Experienced counsel helps clients build strong cases and negotiates directly with prosecutors to seek waivers or reductions. If you or someone you love faces charges under the Graves Act, act quickly. The strict sentencing rules threaten to take years away from your life and cannot be challenged without assistance. Lustberg Law Offices, LLC has experience fighting for clients in these situations. To speak with an attorney and start protecting your future, call this law firm at 201-880-5311 or visit 1 University Plaza Drive, number 212, Hackensack, New Jersey, 07601.